enough how grateful I am for this opportunity and this platform, and for Jared to be allowing me to take up some space today. Yeah, please have patience with me as I'm exercising, taking up space. And so I'm practicing speaking slower, and I'm going to be focused on that in this call, because I don't know about you guys, but when I get on a Zoom, sometimes I feel I have to speak really, really fast to just get my point out and let someone else speak. But today I'm speaking for the whole hour. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to get comfortable taking up that space, and I hope that inspires you too as well. This call is a gift to myself, my younger, present, and future, and generations, future generations, and all who need to heal from this. People pleasing. Who here can identify or feels they've been people pleaser in their life, and it's held them back in some way, or it's hurt them, or it has, they've become resentful? I think all of us here who are in Purium are, innately love to please people. And that is not a bad thing, right? Pleasing people is not a bad thing. So where it, pleasing people isn't the problem. That's why we're all here. We love to help people feel better. It's only a problem when it's destructive. On this call, we're going to outline what people pleasing is and recognize where it's helping us, where it's hurting us, and understanding the motivation behind it, so we can hopefully break the cycle and protect ourselves and our teams in the future. One of the things that really woke me up to it being a problem was recognizing where my habits were duplicating in our team, as well as seeing my youngest daughter struggling with this very thing. My Junie, my youngest, she was over giving her keychain. She had all these keychains, and her friends wanted them, and she would give everyone her keychains. And one day she gave her favorite one away to a girl in class. And I said, Junie, how come you gave it? You love that one. You begged for that one for so long. You love that one. Just because she wanted it. And she was so heartbroken about it. And how did that make you feel? Seeing Junie?
It's tough. Yeah. I mean, I could totally relate, and we'll share a little bit about our backgrounds, our journey with people pleasing, but it was definitely difficult because we ourselves struggle with it. So to see it duplicating amongst our kids, we knew that we still had healing to do.
Yeah, it's not only about us anymore. When you have kids and when you build a team, when you're in a leadership position, it's so important we recognize, and we will, if we don't, it will keep on smacking us in the face until we do, but we're going to see it duplicate in others that are following our lead. And that's when we know, oh, we got to break the cycle. Mm-hmm. So a little bit about me. I used to be triggered by people who had boundaries. Believe it or not. Can anyone relate with that? I used to be triggered with people who had boundaries because I never knew how to have them, or even believed I was worthy. I would put people on pedestals and play small and incapable of authenticity in their presence. For so many years, I didn't even know who I really was. I was so disconnected from my inner voice because I was always suppressing it to make others happy, protecting them, or keeping the peace. When you let yourself down so many times, you become accustomed to it, and your true needs and direction become confusing. Even saying no, people say all the time, just say no. It's like, when you don't even know yourself, how do you even know how to say no, what you want, So I was really deep in it. I lost myself for so long. I had a pretty volatile father and a very emotionally fragile mother. I asked their consent before sharing this on this call. I felt constantly in between them. I say this with such compassion because my mother was such a people pleaser too. This doesn't mean she pleased us though, and that's the interesting thing about people pleasers is they tend to take their family kind of down with them, like it's an extension of them. So she would put everyone else on a pedestal, and you know it as I grew up with this, watching her bend over backwards for others and put everyone else on pedestals while constantly feeling like a victim and getting taken advantage of and resentful. I got the brunt of it. I felt the brunt of it. So I was heading down that path of continuing the cycle until Purium came into my life, into our life. Jared, do you want to share anything about people pleasing with your, like, you know, in your experience?
Well, I think that it's something that we all struggle with. I think it's unavoidable, people pleasing. It's about finding balance with it. We've found equilibrium or are striving for that because we have learned as we go. The gift of Purium of this business is that you could heal out loud. You don't have to be perfect, and you could actually share what you're going through in order to help benefit other people, which is a true gift.
Yeah. So here we're going from people pleasers, and Jared was too. I've seen him bend over backwards and,
Oh, yeah.
you know, all the things, and we both are healing from this. And I think it's something that it's more common for women, actually. So statistically, women are tend to be more the people pleasers. And, you know, they say it's really associated with a lot of disease because when we are just like here in the picture, a driftwood in the ocean, you know, when we're just saying yes to everything, we don't take care of ourselves and we don't know how to protect ourselves and to take care of ourselves. And we leave ourselves vulnerable to disease. And our body, if we don't know how to say no, our bodies will make us, right? We've all hit certain type of either burnout or sickness in our life where our body is going to tell us when we can't, it will redirect us. So so first, I just want to say, Purium and this opportunity. Where is this what I want to say with it? Because
Well,
okay,
let's go into a little bit of our backstory a little bit. Because we're gonna go into gratitude right after, right? Can I share this now?
okay. So just on that slide though, because
Yeah.
I just okay. It's gonna trigger you like this business if you like. It's going to trigger you because you're going to be faced with this mirror everywhere you go in this business. Like everything is going to be held up in front of you. You can't avoid it. And, you know, especially when it's something deep emotionally like this, very, very deep. And sometimes even, you know, like ancestrally deep, um, it's going to be really scary. Change is never comfortable. And that's why a lot of people quit because they're not ready to face it. But we are. Everyone here is, and we are ready to face it. And that is what Purium will do. So we're going to go into, yeah. Well, what, yeah.
I'll share a little bit of how I think was raised to be a people pleaser. You know, my mom shares this story, God bless her. You know, we had a very great childhood, my brother and sister and I, but she would share this story that in order for me to get friends at school, she would put like junk food in my bag, like chips and cookies and things to share with the kids because on my own, I guess I wasn't, you know, I didn't have enough strength of character. I wasn't likable enough to make friends, so I had to bring in junk food. She also would treat wealthier people. So we were middle class, like middle lower class, and I knew what upper class was because I would go to a wealthier friend's house and I would see how they live. So, and just the way she would hold wealthier people up on a pedestal, almost like they're better than us, and we have to treat them a certain way or act a certain way around them. it created a sense of that I didn't have access to that kind of wealth, that I was different. So even though she had good intentions with it, it became a thing where I don't think I was being authentic or in certain relationships in an effort to please them, to be liked.
Yeah. And that's generational, and these are deep wounds. So I shared a little bit about mine. I may have jumped the gun because I was supposed to share it at this time here, but I experienced so many just from bullies at school, mean girls that I was in a, circle of girls who were mean, and I felt always that I have to change who I am to be liked. And I had to do a lot of things that I'm really actually not even able to talk about on this call, just that, super destructive things to fit in and to feel like, and in many social situations, I found myself repeating this pattern of losing myself and doing things that, just not feeling like guided because I was so vulnerable because I didn't have that self-worth. And that's really what it comes down to. I didn't have that self-love and that self-worth. So,
I've known Allison for a long time and I've witnessed her evolve. And I knew that she was like this piece of driftwood in the ocean, kind of being swayed around because she lacked purpose. She didn't have a clear vision of where she wanted to go. Luckily, Purium came into our life and created this platform. So do you want to expand on that?
yeah, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this food and this community and this business and this personal development we get. So definitely, this is something that a lot of women struggle with. And I love to say this business creates the most women millionaires of any industry. And it definitely has so many layers we're going to go into of how it empowers us and strengthens our self-love and gives us a platform. I mean, to share here, I feel like this is my life's purpose, to share this particular message. I'm not even, I mean, I'm just scratching the surface. I want to continue talking about this topic because it's just so important. But just to have this platform, I'm so deeply grateful.
We start a lot of our calls with gratitude. We lead our day with gratitude, and that's attracted a lot of abundance for us. So this is just a mental mindset that we like to carry forward amongst our kind human tribe and with Purium and just to the
Out to
entire
the
world.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how Purium's business helps you heal people pleasing.
Go.
In leadership, you're going to see really quickly as you rise into leadership that it is impossible to please everyone.
It's not going to happen. Yep.
As your team grows, there's different personalities, different expectations, and you just won't be able to please everyone. So you're going to have to get comfortable with that. Leadership demands clarity, confidence, and strong boundaries. So we don't all come into this with that, but we learn. And that's what we're here to teach today. And what all of these calls do, everything that Purium leads us to is to teach confidence and strong boundaries. Success comes from serving, not pleasing. So there's a very big difference. We're here to serve, not here to please. Leading with integrity rather than approval seeking. Serving is in purpose, and pleasing comes from lack. You hear the difference there? When we're serving, we are in purpose, we are guided, and we are driven by something higher than us, and we are in integrity. But when we're people pleasing, we are just that driftwood in the ocean. Financial empowerment brings freedom from external validation. So your worth isn't tied to what others think. Okay, so that has been a huge thing. I always felt playing small in corporate world because, I didn't have the credentials. I didn't have the confidence and the that certain whatever to climb those ladders that other people had. And I was always being measured, but I felt always less than. And Purium gives equal playing fields. You don't need to have any credentials. You just, we have equal playing field here for all. So this is the business. Now we're going to talk a little bit about how the nutrition helps you heal people pleasing. So nourishing your body with high frequency foods strengthens your intuition, makes it easier to trust yourself because we're in connection. A healed gut means a clearer mind. So you're no longer making decisions from a place of fear, stress, depletion, or in my case, just complete lack of connection. I was also, before Purium, I was on many medications. And so, medications and the standard American diet and drugs and other things people are doing, we are, for so much of our life, we are just so disconnected from that inner voice, who we truly are. And I don't know how, and it's hard to explain this, but foods fuel confidence and resilience, making you less emotionally dependent on outside approval. Can anyone relate with that? Do you know what I mean? Don't you feel more confident after you have your daily green juice? I mean, there's just something that happened for me, just this magical shift where I started to love myself as I started to nourish myself.
Witness. Saw it happen. So this is how nutrition can help with your people pleasing.
Yeah. And community and support. Definitely. Being surrounded by other powerful, like-minded leaders shifts your mindset from people pleasing to purpose driven. And we're not in any hierarchies here, right? We're surrounded with leaders who are so humble and they want to teach us how they did it. They want to let us in. We don't have that kind of hierarchy of a boss that, we have to, fear, and the people who are higher up, there's so much. It is so helpful, all the people who we got to hear from, even before I had any inkling that I could ever be successful, just getting to hear other people who are so successful but humble that I can relate with. You realize that true belonging doesn't require people pleasing. Authenticity is what attracts the right community. And isn't that what we're all about? Everything in Purium is bringing us to ourself, to our true voice, so we can reach our people. We don't need to bend over backwards, or in Jared's case, have the junk food to please.
Bribe.
Yeah. Seeing others own their power gives you permission to do the same. So I hope me out here owning my power can help someone else do the same. You no longer need to shrink or to make others comfortable. I'm always working on this every single day, and I'm working on this out loud.
Yeah.
So others don't have to suffer in silence.
I just want to make a point about that, how Allison, she went through a lot of challenges growing up, some stuff that she can't even talk about without crying. And to go through those things, there must be a reason why. And here with this platform, there is an outlet for that. There's a reason why you struggled and suffered, because you can help others go through that. So Allison talking to her younger self, or to a young woman out there experiencing a similar situation to her, for her to be out here confidently speaking about it is so important, so amazing, that I'm just so grateful that we have this platform for that.
Thank you.
And
how Purium's personal development helps you heal people pleasing. So the business pushes you to heal limiting beliefs around self-worth, rejection, and external validation. You learn that your energy is your most valuable currency. Pouring into the wrong places drains you and slows your impact.
Mhm.
Is this where we're gonna talk about that? Because, okay, no, actually,
yeah,
okay. We're gonna get into that a little later. Stepping into true leadership requires making decisions based on vision, not fear of upsetting others. The shift from seeking approval to creating impact is the ultimate breakthrough. So this is all about personal development here, right? We say this is a personal development plan with a compensation plan wrapped around it. And we are forced to level up. We have no choice. The ones who don't quit, right? But the ones who are going to go for it, they have no choice. We've got to develop personally. And it's not easy, but it's worth it. That's for sure.
I think a good interpretation of personal development is how do you go from being a follower to being a leader? And in Allison's case, she was thrust into leadership before she was ready. And so she dealt with all these things, you know, the people pleasing, realizing you can't make everybody happy, realizing people can turn against you, all these things that a leader has to deal with was just there. It just happened. So it was like boot camp for leadership. She didn't
Yes.
take any courses. She didn't study leadership training. She never did any mentorship or anything like that. It's just what the Purium community and tools provided. And you're witness to what that could do.
Yes. So what is people pleasing exactly?
Mhm.
Okay, so we talked a little bit. So there's positives of people pleasing, right? Pleasing people is a good thing. We want to make people happy. We love to help people. One of the actual a little example of how people pleasing has helped me is so Eric, who's our upline mentor, he told me, and this is in 2020, and I didn't know this. So I started in 2018, and I was hovering at director for about a year and a half. I couldn't make it past director until Eric told me, and I don't know how he said it, I can't remember exactly, but he told me, like, cause I was like, why does he care like so much about me? You know, I was so not used to anyone caring if I succeeded or not. I know there's, you know, he's quite a few levels up from me. So I was like, you know, wow, like I was so moved by it, but at the same time, I didn't really quite understand it. I didn't quite understand network marketing that well at that time. And he said, well, you need, you know, if you go diamond, I go crown. Wow. That was all I needed to hear. Eric had been so helpful, so kind. All I wanted to do was help. And so for him to say that if I got out of my way and succeeded, if I went to diamond, he would go to crown. Well, that was all I needed to hear. So that's where my people pleasing has served me. You know, not everyone is motivated by that. I personally am so motivated by that. And that's a good thing. Okay. Because it kicked me out of my comfort zone. Like that got me to do things that I wasn't even ready to do for myself. And so, yeah, there's been times, you know, there's times where people pleasing, you know, we want to be great customer service. We want to be available for our team. There's some good things, right?
But it's finding balance.
Yeah, what is people pleasing though? Because that's where people pleasing, they call it the pleasing disease. It's a pleasing that where it's a problem is prioritizing others' approval over your own needs. When we're constantly saying yes to avoid conflict or discomfort or disappointing others, even at the expense of our own well-being. Fear of rejection or judgment. So making decisions based on how others will perceive you rather than what truly aligns with your values, goals, and boundaries. And over attachment to external validation, always needing to seek our worth and security from others' opinions, praise, or acceptance rather than from ourselves. I would like ask to drop ones and all of that, but I just don't see the chat, so I don't feel like I don't know. I'm getting better at that. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'll get
Really
there.
fun to look after the call.
Yeah,
Thank you for commenting.
to be looking at all the comments after, but sometimes I can do the drop the ones. I'll get better at that. Okay. So people pleasing shows up as a mirror in our business. Every unhealed part of us will keep appearing until we either heal it or learn the lesson, right? It won't go away. And yeah, I don't know about you, but the same cycles will keep on repeating themselves, right? In this business, and it will hold up a mirror. So in my experience, we have overextended for brand partners so many times, it led to, Jared can speak to this a little bit too, led to dependency, blame, and burnout.
Yeah, exactly. So in an effort to make everyone happy, all our brand partners, I was just answering every question, not really empowering anyone to do things themselves, but just wanting to be the nice guy and get the response they needed. But what that led to was frustration. I was just getting overwhelmed and exhausted and realizing that I can't scale this. If we're going to have thousands of people in our organization, how am I possibly going to serve everybody in this way?
And what I always thought about, and I used to get mad at him when he would do, go overextending himself, not because it was taking energy away from me or the girls, but because I didn't want that to duplicate. I felt so bad for our team members who would think I have to do all of that. Right? So we have to think it's not just about us. It's about, is this duplicatable? Can we scale this? So we had a few examples where we bent over back. Let's say there was an influencer come in, right, to our, as a customer even, we would bend over backwards and we would put up with so much crap, right? Like just so much that, and then you know what? So this happened a few times. The people we poured the most into, sometimes they ended up like returning their package or like completely ghosting us. And this would happen over and over again. It was always what we saw was the pattern. It was the people we bent over backwards for, the people we put on a pedestal, the people we rolled out the red carpet for, like they were like it doesn't work. We cannot overextend ourselves. We have to have boundaries. Okay. Because it will not actually, some of the people who we've, been much more, empowering to, and they've done the best with this business. Right. So we see it only hurts them and it hurts us when we overextend. So this has happened over and over. This has happened with brand partners who have, turned on us. Like, there was, anyway, I don't know if I can't say specific things, but one girl like went all, like we poured so much into her. She was so in need because, she was actually really she was a single mother and she was so in need. I went and always overextended myself. And you know what? She turned on me in the most crazy way. And then like went all over Facebook and badmouths me and all these things when all I ever did was try to help her. And so that was like, and that's just one example, but it happened many times where the people I sometimes gave the most would just like, it would just blow up in my face. Mm-hmm. So we learned,
that was the universe, I guess, telling us that we're approaching it wrong. We had to pivot. And we did these things, we experimented, we tried lots of different things so that we could impart this knowledge and wisdom to our team and to the field here. Just knowing that you may go through these things, and here's actionable, practical things now that you could do to avoid it in the future.
Yeah. And another little story I just want to share, because I'm like, it just came to me now, but, just in being in, because we want to build our business, right? And we want people to like us and we want them to buy from us. And we're in the business of, we want to be loved, right?
Want to make people happy.
We want to make people happy. But, so I went to a women's retreat and I thought, they're all going to sign up with Purium. I'm like, we always think like there's a certain situation where like, oh, everyone here is going to they're going to love it. And I found myself in this environment, like the whole time, just like wanting to be loved so much. And like, just giving, like, it was like, I hated myself, how I felt, right? Because I could feel depleted. How how you feel, how interactions are if you feel totally depleted after, right? So it didn't work for me. No one ended up, buying Purium from me like I thought, because I went and in with that mindset of, I want, like, I'm going to this women's retreat only to get everyone to love me and sign up with Purium. And it ended up backfiring. So because I lost my authentic self, I was trying to please all of them. I found myself so just the whole time here, I couldn't even enjoy the retreat because I was trying so hard to be loved. Okay, go to the next slide. So breaking the cycle, recognizing the signs. This is the sign here. So tell me how many times that have you ever felt drained after a social interaction with someone, right? You just feel like after you get off a call, maybe it's with a customer or maybe it's with a prospect or just someone in your life, you just feel like drained. That's a good sign you're people pleasing or you're not in your authenticity. You avoid asking for the sale, right? How many times we have someone who we've been working on them, but we've never actually asked them, hey, are you like, do you want to try this? You know, like, are you interested in doing the ultimate lifestyle transformation? We feel too scared because we don't want to throw them off. You know, we're scared to ask for the sale. I'm working on this. I have my dear friend Kelly here. Kelly Evan is helping me with this, and she's helping our team because this is something I'm really working on. Is just, hey, they're like, when we go into a store, we don't expect the salesperson to start making small talk with us. We would walk out of the store, we're like, I wanted to buy something, but that salesperson was just so annoying. They were just talking to me. And like, you know, you want them to present you with what you want to buy. And so people are not, you know, the right people are going to be so grateful you're asking them for the sale. You struggle to say no, even when you're overwhelmed. So I think you may want to talk about that because I know you sometimes, and I do this. I mean, we both,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I think saying no, it could be hard, but when you put yourself first, it's much easier to say no. I think when we have tools now, when it is a no, when you do have to say no to somebody, you could just follow it up with why. You're saying, it's going to be no, and here's why. Let me explain why, calmly and patiently. That works tremendously. And I think that feeds into the confidence that you get
Yeah.
from not just people pleasing and finding balance.
And that's a gift. People actually, you know, like I said at the beginning of the call, that I would get triggered when people had boundaries because I didn't have my own. Well, I needed to hear other people have boundaries so I can actually start learning how to have them. And so we need to say no sometimes, and even to people we love, and that's okay because they need to know they can say no too when they need. And so that's a huge gift. When you prioritize others' needs over your own, leaving no space for yourself. Have you ever had it like at the end of the day, you didn't even have time to do what you needed to do because you were overextending for everyone else? That doesn't feel good. So yeah, you find yourself apologizing often. Okay, this is very Canadian for all our Canadians out there, right? We say sorry for everything. But I am working on this. I am catching myself. I would say sorry, even when I didn't do anything wrong. Like, you know, by accident, I do sorry. Instead of, we give away our power when we say sorry. We're telling people we're smaller. And so, yes, there's times where it's appropriate to say sorry, of course, but over apologizing is definitely a people pleasing, you know, red flag. So we want to pay attention, stop before saying sorry, and think maybe you want to say thank you for being, like, if you made someone wait a few minutes, let's say on a Zoom call or something, and you show up a little late, say thank you for being patient. I had to drive, you know, I had a snowstorm happening, whatever it is, but say thank you instead of saying sorry. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Who else, if you find yourself saying sorry a lot, just reflect, just take a step back and be like, am I actually apologizing for these things?
Do I actually feel sorry, or was that, yeah.
Exactly. And find the positive spin on it.
So we are shifting to empowered mindset. You are not responsible for other people's success. They are. Your role is to guide, not to convince or rescue. And we lead by example, right? This is how we're here to guide. Kindness does not equal being a doormat. It's self-respect and leadership. Kindness is power. It is not being a doormat, right? So we need to reframe what kindness is, because some people misinterpret kindness as weakness. No, we are here to show people kindness is a superpower done with self-love. Okay.
Yeah, kindness, when it's combined with confidence, is very powerful. I think that's the love that's missing from a lot of people's lives right now, is that they're not receiving kindness because they're doing it from a place of people pleasing rather than genuine helping one another,
That was
right?
me for so long. Yeah.
So this is very strong because this is something that we learned we've been in Purium for 6 years, and this did not happen overnight, any of these things. Realizing that we're not responsible for people's success as much as we want them to be successful, it's their responsibility. So this is where empowerment, where mentorship is crucial. And it's not just like, I'm going to do everything for you. And just because I want it so bad that it's going to happen.
Yeah. We need to show people kindness is strength and lead by that example. So shifting from people pleaser to overcomer. Yes, all of us.
So more actionable things now that you could do. If you could put these things into practice, you'll find yourself creating more balance in your life with people pleasing.
Yeah, and we're going to share these slides as well. I don't know how I guess we'll share them with the field. But if you want to take a picture here, just to remember, these are some actionable steps that we all need to start implementing today. So saying no. So when someone asks you to do something, and this will happen, in the next 24 hours, the next time someone asks you to do something, pause. Instead of saying yes right away, know that your self-worth isn't dependent on agreeing with everything and saying yes. So pause and think, do I really want to do this? And, what's my motivation? Why, like, can I do this? Right? Is this going to hurt me? Or is this something I really want to do?
That way you won't feel guilty saying no. It's still a selfless act because you're doing yourself a service by not just giving in to something because you want to be nice. This is empowering.
Yeah. And, having that pause to say, let me just look with my schedule. Let me think about it. That's just the language we can use. It's not no, it's, can I get back to you on that? Let me just think about that. Let's get in the habit of just pausing and asking for a few minutes to just think about it. Stay focused. Okay. This is the greatest gift, right? Purpose is what shifts us out of that being that driftwood. So stay focused on your goals. Know where you're going and why. We talk so much about that here in Purium, right? Our why. We have to remind ourselves of our why every day, and we need to get excited about our future. We need to dream, because until you have your goals and know where you're going, you're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to be swayed, and everything is going to look like an opportunity, or, you're going to get confused if you're not focused. So that's the antidote, right? Get focused. Present options confidently. So asking for a sale is a gift. Imagine if the person who enrolled you had been afraid to ask, where would you be? Right? All of us said yes, and we're so grateful that we did. And so be that person that you needed, and that person's praying. That right person is praying for you to ask them for the sale. They are praying for you to do that.
And in terms of presenting options, there's a technique that I think a lot of parents know about is when you have.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, go ahead.
Like if it's breakfast time for your kids, it's not like, okay, what do you want for breakfast? Because they're not going to decide. It's going to take forever. They're not going to pick anything. You have to be, okay, for breakfast, do you want oatmeal or do you want fruit? You got two options. So pick one and let's move on.
Much like asking for the sale, are you going to start with the ultimate lifestyle transformation, or are you going to go with the ultimate lifestyle with pineal clear? Which one do you want to choose?
But just when it comes time to ask for the sale,
but you can ask, are you interested in just being a customer, or are you also, do you have some people that you'd like to share this with?
Yeah.
Right. So we're presenting options for people, because, they need to be nudged. People need to be nudged. They need to get out of their way. We're here to help them get out of their own way and make a decision. So learn how to ask. This is a very important thing, to ask with options. Very, very important skill set.
I think a good term to use, if you find yourself on a connect call and it's time to ask that question, you could say, knowing what you know now, what would you like to do? Would you like to get
To go
started?
give the options at
Would you
that
like to
time.
get started, or do you want to wait? That's it.
Yeah.
Building trust.
Building trust. So consistent habits. Okay, building trust. This is such an important one. This is like such an important one. Building trust within ourselves. We need to start building trust within ourselves. Number one, we can't expect anyone to trust us until we can build that confident trust within ourselves. And you know how I built that? That was through doing my, okay, well, so actually my daily green juice, my core 4, building that, having that consistency with
Ritual.
having my green juice every day, having my aminos and my biomedic and all the other things I'm taking, doing my yoga every day. And so it may not be yoga for you, it may be some other physical activity, but staying consistent in something every single day will help you build, strengthen your trust within yourself. So you have to stay consistent and you have to pick what it is. And if we don't have a lot of time, even if we only have 10 minutes to build something, that is, you have to do something consistently every single day. And the building the trust in our business is, for me, I have to do a post every single day. I got to show my store is open every single day. I have to build that trust within myself. And these are important skill sets to learn, not because we're going to get customers through it, well, we will, but because we are building that trust of integrity within ourselves, that consistency that we can build within in ourselves.
Ask yourself, do you trust yourself? And if you feel it's a maybe or a no, then find some tools that you can do every day, some new rituals that bring you joy.
It will build trust over time. You will build it.
And people can sense it too.
Yeah. And I let myself down in every single possible way before. And we can always at any point start building trust again. Okay. Yeah. Trust, we can always rebuild. We can always build that. So know that no matter where you're at, you can start today building trust within yourself. Set boundaries in business. So use Calendly, time blocking, protect your time. So definitely Calendly is a great tool. Do you want to?
Yeah, so Calendly, it's just a way to book meetings into a calendar. You send somebody a link, they pick a time that's convenient for them. You both get notifications. It blocks out your day. This is great for setting up meetings, obviously, but for ourselves, we prioritize our physical health. We want to spend at least an hour to 90 minutes, maybe even 2 hours a day doing something physical. Allison does her yoga. Usually sometimes I join her a few times a week. I like to go to the gym or we play tennis, go for a walk.
And we set that in our Calendly. Yeah. Can you believe we block that off? That's how much we respect our time. So don't be afraid to block off your booking, your appointment for yourself. Make sure that you block off that time for you. Because if you don't block off that time, someone else is going to take that time. And time is our most valuable thing. And our self is our most valuable thing.
So 90 minutes of a day might sound like a lot to some people. They're like, no way could I afford 90 minutes a day. I just don't have it. So try 30 minutes, try 30 minutes,
whatever it is.
Yeah. And then slowly grow it, but prioritize that.
As you build your business, you won't, you'll be able to have more freedom. So you'll be able to take that 90 minutes or 2 hours or more every day that you block off for yourself.
What's that funny thing with meditating?
Oh yeah. If you don't feel you have time to, if you don't have 10 minutes to meditate, then you have to take an hour. If you don't feel you have the time to do it, it means you need it the most. And then last but not least, most important, self-love. Self-love is the antidote to people pleasing. Fall in love with yourself. And all of these are going to help you fall in love with yourself and all the things that we spoke about. But awareness, healing wounds, and self-love is the antidote to people pleasing. So first is awareness. We need to recognize where we're people pleasing or where we're hurting ourselves in any way. And we can heal once we have that awareness, and we have to focus on healing our wounds and self-love. And we are going to heal through everything. We can get through it. We just have to really love ourselves, but double down on loving ourselves. So putting the kind human back in the humankind, that's what we're here to do. I'm here. We started Kind Human movement because I needed protection and I wanted to protect the kind humans in this world. I wanted to protect the people who are doing good. And the best way to protect is to teach these boundaries and to teach self-love. So kindness does not mean being a doormat or pushover. This is what we're always focused with our team. Staying in control equals you're in the driver's seat of your business and life. So you've got to have that focus. Having a strong sense of self means no one can derail you. As a leader, we don't want to overextend ourselves. It's a disservice to our team and duplicates bad habits and leads to burnout. So we need to, as leaders of Kind Human movement, and all of you who are leading your own Kind Human movement, are needing to step into that very example yourself. And we need to do it now.
We're destigmatizing the word kind because typically someone would say you can't be successful if you're kind. You have to be a shark. You got to be business cutthroat.
Step on people.
Yeah. And that is not the way with social commerce. It's kindness rules, because not only are you living your best life, you're being kind to yourself. That's the kind of life most people want to live. They want to live a life of leisure and kindness and loving themselves every day. So that's how we lead. We just take care of ourselves, and
kindness is our natural state. Kindness is our natural state. Without having, the traumas and the things that the world has thrown at us. In a perfect world, we're all respectful and kind and in harmony. And so we're looking to restore that balance so that we can all lead as strong, kind humans. So wrapping up, the power of purpose.
Yeah, because that driftwood analogy is very powerful, because that driftwood floating around in the ocean, getting tossed around, no direction, that is a beautiful metaphor for what happens to most people when they're saying yes to everything, when they've lost their vision, they don't have long-term goals. You're going to live your life getting tossed around like that. And that was Allison. Honestly, I saw it happen in the job world, in schooling, in private life.
Friends, yeah.
She was just kind of getting tossed around, totally aimless and directionless and just living day to day. And this is why she fell into, pharmaceuticals and, just looking elsewhere outside of herself.
Mm-hmm.
So look inwards and find purpose. And luckily, Purium provides this purpose. It's automatic. And not only does it provide it, it's an accelerator to get through these hard moments. Yeah, an incredible vehicle towards freedom. And we'll talk about freedom as well.
Yeah. So, yes, there was something else I was going to say while you were talking there, but, and maybe we'll come back, but yeah.
So you wanted to share this quote, right?
Yeah. So as long as you still need to impress people, you are never free. And we are looking for freedom, right? Drop me a 1 if you're looking for freedom. We are looking for freedom here. That's what we're here for. And we are not free. We are our own prisoner. We create a prison for ourselves if we are always needing to please others. So I hope this inspired you to recognize some of these tendencies in yourself, maybe recognize it in others that you love. And these books have really helped me. And I'd love to recommend that, these, maybe if they speak to you, these have really helped me. So I'm actually in the midst of reading right now, The Let Them Theory and The Courage to Be Disliked. And I listened to The Disease to Please. Oh yeah, that reminded me what I was going to say before. If all disease is because of the lack of, of just being at that log, that driftwood in the ocean, right? So that is like, we're here to heal. We're here to heal ourselves and here to heal others. Number 1 rule is we've got to focus on boundaries. We've got to focus on not being people pleasers and yes men and yes women and yes to everything. We have to love ourselves because that is how we heal. That is the foundation of healing. That's what I want to say about that. But going back to these books, these are just amazing books that I've really benefited so much from. And I hope that this presentation has
I just wanted
given
to,
you
yeah.
empowerment in some way and some action that you can.
Yeah, until you write your own book, these are great. In the meantime, I just wanted to acknowledge that Purium, on the surface, it may just seem like it's food. We're sharing food, but because it's about gut health, we're about creating connection in a disconnected world. There's a lot of influence in our environment where these big companies, big food, processed food, factory farming, the result is disconnection from where food comes from, disconnection from animals, living online, social media, online dating. We're getting disconnected from in-person emotion and feeling. And then pharmaceuticals industry, it's disconnecting us from becoming healers, from knowing and trusting that we could heal ourselves. So with all this disconnection around us, it's very easy to fall prey to that. Purium, with its gut health protocol and something like Biomedic, which is proven to repair your gut, it's literally creating new connections in your body. It's allowing cells to communicate to each other, creating new bonds, new connections, so that you yourself could heal, which is what happened for us. We actually experienced it, and then we shared it and connected to new people. So the community is about connection, the food is about connection, and we are so grateful that we have this in our lives, that all we have to do is just keep connecting people to it. And that's all we have to do. A lot of the theory and the mentorship and all these things kind of bottleneck into this idea of getting connected again, connecting to source, to each other, and to the planet. So we just wanted to express how immensely grateful we are for all of you here, and just keep connecting. That's our role here. And we're just loving every minute of this, having fun and just growing together.
And it's going to be hard too. And you're going to face challenge and you're going to disrupt and people are going to, you're going to disappoint and you're going to lose people. And that's going to happen, but you're going to gain so much better. You don't even know. Okay. Like I am telling you as someone who could never imagine rejection. I would do everything in my life to avoid any kind of confrontation and rejection, to face that and to overcome, to go through it, not run away from it, to let them. And to know to let yourself, your own voice be heard, let yourself be seen, because the people who are meant for you are going to find you. And it's going to be way better than holding on to any kind of, fragile relationships in our life that we've had to maintain. So have the courage to be disliked. Have the courage to speak your truth. And I'm just so proud. I'm so proud of everyone here. And I could not be more grateful for this opportunity to share this from our heart with all of you. And I was so scared before this call, but I will say it is so liberating to do it. And so do what scares you, do what's hard. You guys got this.
Can we give a shout out to Allison here? How proud we are. We love our little Allison.
Thank you guys.
She's bold, she's brave, she does it out of her comfort zone, and hopefully you feel inspired to do better, just trust yourself.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the comments.
I'm gonna go read all of them now. So I'm not going to close the room until I read all of them. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
You well. Thank you. Have a good one. Cheers. Thanks for having your cameras on.
Do I get to
Yeah,
read the
we'll see.
transcript after?
We'll watch the
Okay.
replay. Yeah.
I don't want that awkward time when we're like,
Yeah.
I
We should do another training call. Who's down?